Welcome back and good afternoon or evening depending on where you're watching from. Yesterday was all about North America, but today it's all about the EU. I'm Tiger, joined here by F-Dot, and we're going to be looking at Cyclone versus eXcellence today.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting matchup. Cyclone, one of the newer teams in the SCL. They came in, made their way through relegations. An exciting relegation match, actually. These guys are made up of a couple of people that we've seen before. And they'll go up against eXcellence, a team that has also made a couple of changes here in their long-term roster.
Just a little bit, and they came third in split last go-around, so curious to see how they're going to compare it to the newest team in the SCL for the EU side. We saw Aware yesterday really just pull out all the stops, raise a lot of eyebrows, so CycloneGG have a lot to live up to. For sure, and I mean, coming into the scene, a lot of the rookies are on kind of a similar level as some of the other experienced players. Really takes a special player to ascend, like the Watsons or the Wolves that we've seen of last season, to really separate themselves. But in general, the rookies tend to mesh very well with the veteran squad. So watching what Aware was able to do yesterday, we'll see if Cyclone have the same sort of gusto like they've proven in the relegations. All right, well, speaking of that, all these teams are fighting to go to the hi-rez expo. You too can go at hi-rezexpo.com, grab your tickets, come see us. I'm going to be there. You're going to be there.
Yeah.
Hindu, Peckies will be there. Lots of people will be there. You should too.
Exactly. It's always a ton of fun. SWC, hi-rez Expo. I mean, some of my favorite moments coming from the scene really wind up at a SWC, whether it's on the clock or off. So, after the games, before the games, everybody's still just having a ton of fun, and that's really what it's all about, meeting everybody. So definitely want to come on down for that one.
Exactly. But going back to the game, Cyclone, I really want to see how they perform. It's all about synergy now. You can get a bunch of pros, as mentioned yesterday, put them together, and hope they work out. But it's really going to be that team synergy and that communication that's really going to shine through.
Exactly, and that's what some of these newer teams that's what sometimes when these newer teams get off to a cool start, like we see at Los Amigos now Aware, it's because of that sort of synergy. Once you get into the Pro League, you're more liable to change things up after things don't work out necessarily, but Cyclone coming into the split fresh as a team that's been playing together as a unit for a while now, they might have a little bit more oomph in their synergy meter.
So we saw Fafnir banned out 5 times yesterday. Not going to be a change here today. Fafnir, the first ban out from Team eXcellence. Don't want to deal with the Dragon.
Nah, I mean, he just winds up being too powerful. The coerce mechanic just allowing characters that don't even necessarily excel at taking down towers. All of a sudden, you don't have a structure damage problem, so allowing characters like Freya and Kronos into the mix, although he doesn't have any problems taking down towers, certainly become a little bit easier.
So we had a clean slate yesterday. It's going to be a clean slate today coming out for EU as well. No Arlong Shen and no Nemesis.
The Nemesis choice, not a surprise. Arlong Shen generally is just a powerful character, but Nemesis is a powerful play style. She really enables that sort of burst damage that makes these mid-mages that are so powerful even more powerful. So by taking her out, not only do you remove the burst damage, but also a highly mobile ganker in general.
That shred hurts on that Nemesis ultimate, so definitely don't want to have to deal with that. Last ban out, we saw a little bit of Ao Kuang banned out as well yesterday. Surprised that wasn't one of the first.
I mean, when it comes down to it, Ao Kuang gets banned right here, Tiger, but when it comes down to it, Ao Kuang is really, it's sometimes you see Ao Kuang left open as a dare, because Ao Kuang at the end of the day is a great character, but is not necessarily that easy to pilot, specifically in the early game. So if your team is able to deal with if your team is able to deal against Ao Kuang, well, you could tend and sort of experiment by leaving it open. Cyclone, a little bit newer to the scene, not willing to take that chance.
Yesterday was all about Zeus, Guan Yu, Odin, and there's a Guan Yu right there.
Absolutely. I mean, no surprise, this character, Guan just keeps things going, and I mean that in all sorts of ways. He can keep things going by engaging the team fight, he can keep things going by slowing players down and defending his teammates, but most importantly, it's about that heal conviction. You can siege, you can defend, and you can run away, all on the use of one ability. Guan Yu becomes one of the most dominant characters, not just on the console, but in Smite overall.
Biggest thing that's open right now, though, that Cyclone could snatch up is Odin. That cage would definitely mess up with Guan Yu and that healing, but instead going to lock in a Freya.
Well, Freya works well next to Odin in the cage, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Freya Odin selection, but instead, it'll be the Freya Sobek selection. Sobek, another character that does do well against healing. Sickening Strike will provide a little bit of healing reduction, but certainly not the all-time shutout that the Allfather does, so exactly. I'm curious about that lack of Odin as well.
I mean, Bacchus going to get locked in. Very aggressive pick. In your face, Intoxicate can completely wreck when it comes to team fights, and the CC coming out.
just a huge, powerful selection. Bacchus, again, is all about bringing the damage. You'll see a fantastic setup by way of the belly flop, which will allow Raijin to really do his stuff, whether it's set up the single damage or even the ultimate. But the Intoxicate is going to slow down targets and then obviously just take a chunk out of their HP.
I was confused about the Zeus prioritization over the Raijin, but I'm glad to see Raijin getting picked up first. I like the Taiko drums. You got a lot of utility with that ultimate.
Yes and no. I mean, I respect it. I'm not gonna yell at you,
No,
but
you're fine.
I'm an old school Zeus fan. I love the area denial that ultimate brings. All of a sudden, you can't look at Gold Fury if it's raining out. So I like the Zeus selection, but the Raijin also has its moments. Neith, though, over there for CycloneGG. It's an interesting mid laner. Likely to see her wind up there.
Yeah, we don't really see Freya much in the jungle, so magical ADC Neith gonna be able to kind of carry up for that in the mid lane. But on her banned out, very consistent ADC since Team eXcellence don't have anything yet.
And I like the takeaway of on her here by CycloneGG. Freya's a character that obviously doesn't have any early game power to her name, and then once the mid game starts going, she can get her feet underneath her. On her, on the other hand, is one of the hunters that's going to jump on you literally at level 2. So take that just out of here. Look, I don't want to deal with it. Let me just hang out in lane. I'm Freya, so no on her. Absolutely.
Got some plans going. Going to focus in on the support. I guess eXcellence are thinking that's going to be a solo bet coming out because they're going to ban out Athena.
Possibly. I mean, Sobek has shown up in the solo lane and pretty much solo lane and support pretty much throughout the entire season on both platforms. So definitely an option. We'll see if eXcellence are wasting their Athena ban and what their 4th ban will be.
I was curious when Susano was going to see the play here. He's going to get banned out last from CycloneGG, but neither team have a jungle yet.
Yep. So keeping it a little bit fresh. Kwang and Susano Nemesis are the 3 jungle choices that have been taken away. I guess the Arlong Shen, a little bit of a flex. So Cyclone will see where they want to wind up in the jungle. Like you said, we haven't seen the Freya jungle just yet, but if we were going to see it, Europe would be the place.
Well, Team eXcellence do not want to go against that Geb when it comes to Bacchus, so they're going to go ahead and ban that out, but kind of a surprise one there.
Yeah, we've seen Geb here and there, but really it's just about the protection for me. Geb is not necessarily a top ban, but when you're down to the last ban of the phase, I don't hate it too much. Geb is also going to stop a little bit of the damage, and eXcellence certainly looking for some burst when it comes to Bacchus and Raijin.
That Geb shield would have been useful, but instead going in for the Kumbhakarna. I like the Kumbhakarna Sobek mix-up because Sobek, all that CC is going to do damage. Kumbhakarna going to be able to root you, mez you, epic uppercut you, know exactly where they're coming down for the burst.
Whole ton of appeal for Freya as well. When I look at a composition that comes with Freya, she's got a banish on a 1,000,000-second cooldown and then the ultimate as well, right? That's pretty much her only buttons to push outside of Relic, so definitely need a lot of protection. Loving the comp so far from Cyclone.
Popular picks coming out from eXcellence. Thor going to get picked up for that jungle, and Soul going to be the ADC more than likely. Thor, that global ultimate though.
Yeah, I mean, Thor, just one of the old classics. Nothing really to change there. He goes up, he comes down, he stuns you, and hopefully somebody dies. That's going to be the combination with him, Bacchus, and Raijin, and we'll see how that one really compares to, well, they got the party monkey, Tiger.
Hun Batz. I think he's got one of the best ultimates in the game. The displacement, it's powerful.
And it's fantastic specifically against a team like we see here. There's a clear strategy. Thor's going to come down, and that's going to set up things, and everybody's going to be all in their right spots, get their ducks in a row, right? Well, Cyclone's whole entire plan, Batz comes in, throws those ducks everywhere else. Kumbhakarna's going to come and make everybody a little bit sleepy. So basically, look for eXcellence to really start these engagements, expect the down come from Maloaise to really stun everybody, and then on the other side, you'll see the guys from Cyclone really just go and try to disrupt everything that eXcellence has been planning out, specifically around Auzrik, who, despite a relatively lackluster performance in relegations, has otherwise impressed me.
A little bit of deep warding coming out from Team eXcellence. Good vision coming out upper on the right side, closer to those solo tier 2 towers.
Good vision coming out, and like you said, and the reasoning behind that is it's going to protect a lot of what Cyclone can get invaded on. You can see the 2 entrances to the speed buff on the right-hand side is really what eXcellence is going to be aware, or what Cyclone is going to be aware of, where eXcellence is walking around, if they're coming out of their own jungle or just going to stay relegated into it. And it looks like, Tiger, both of these teams are going to play it nice and simple, no invades.
Yeah, we didn't see a lot of invades yesterday, and even if we did, it didn't really pan out too much, but Standard start coming out, going to split these camps up nice and well. I kind of like the clear coming out from Soul a little bit better than the Neith.
I mean, absolutely. Soul has one of the better AoE clears when it comes down to it with that Stellar Burst, but Neith, of course, can compare well with the Spirit Arrow. It just depends on how the teammates really come together, and when it comes down to it, the Raijin certainly a little bit more adept at clearing than than compared to the Freya, so that'll allow eXcellence to get to lane a little bit quicker than CycloneGG.
Fly gonna get to mid lane first, get a little bit of a lead on those minions. They're gonna leave that for Neith to go ahead and clean on up. We are gonna be calling him Fly today.
I remember the first time Tiger, Hindu and I casted this guy, V50M Fly. We had no idea. We went back and forth. We couldn't figure out what the hell. He's a swimmer. The 50-meter fly is actually a swimming event. So shouts to him and being a swimmer and everything. We're gonna call him Fly. So that's what it is.
Well, we had a little bit of a name issue yesterday, so keeping it as simple as possible. Our Batz taking a little bit of damage, going to get shot out by Predators there on the Guan with that DineOhSaw.
Yeah, just a little shade over there from the solo coming out of Guan. Wanted to make sure he had eyes on the enemy team as eXcellence were the first ones out of the lane. You can see they have a little bit of a lead now because of their dominance over there on the right side of the jungle. Mid Harpies and the Elementals taken. Left side Harpies, though, have been spotted by CycloneGG, so that'll even things out just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Batz looking to get a little aggressive, but instead going to use that on the minions. Thor not going to connect, but a good deterrent.
Exactly. Sometimes you just need to take the exit and make the player look away.
Exactly. Take the first, yes. But rotation's back to go ahead and clear out those back camps. For the most part, nothing too crazy thus far, although I am noticing eXcellence getting pushed back in the tower multiple times in the duo side.
Exactly. When you're looking at this dual lane matchup, Freya really not expected to be on the upside. Soul obviously is the one with the better clear, but if you're able to be very aggressive the way that Kumbhakarna is looking at, Kumbha has a decent wave clear in the wave as well, so that sort of knocks things out. And Freya just want to focus on the wave while her support really focuses on pushing the enemy back. That's how Cyclone has really been able to wrestle control of this lane.
Keeps forcing out that disapparate with the Mez and whatnot. It looked like we were going to have a rotation coming out from Thor. Instead, he's going to snip at those fire imps and then back off. Good communication coming out from eXcellence to not go ahead and gank on Sobek just yet.
So eXcellence now, here, this is what they're looking for. I wanted to see Cyclone come back into the lane a little bit dangerously. eXcellence wanted to see the same thing. You can see Maloaise sort of taking that pathing intentionally, but Cyclone take the safe route underneath their tower.
Yep, going to go ahead and split those fire imps by 2. Raijin here, a little late to the party, but at that point going to take the safe route back into the mid lane, and Guan goes back to boxing with Sobek.
So watching these two teams really come together, Cyclone playing for the first time here in the SCL. eXcellence, of course, were a part of the league last season. Really, when it comes down to it, what I like to see out of the newer squads when they play against the more veteran teams, Tiger, is I want to see how they position, how they're playing, how they're exerting their dominance. And I mean, like you brought up before, I love how in the long lane, Cyclone weren't afraid to take the negative matchup and try to go aggressive.
I mean, and that's sometimes what you have to do, but Predator's going to get pushed back into the tower, wait for those minions to come back up before getting plucked by Sobek. Good rotation coming out. Blue camps are going to be coming up soon. Batz waiting for the opportunity to go ahead and get that started for the Sobek, while Thor's messing around with that speed. Probably, maybe even see a rotation later on.
It's possible, and so when we look at the junglers specifically, Batz a little bit later in the game than the Thor, but when I say later in the game, I mean level 5. Thor can make things happen 3, 4 with a couple of abilities. Batz doesn't really exist without the Fear No Evil totem. Now that he's got it, though, he's certainly got to be looking for something and taking a look at the lanes real quickly. It might be this mid lane sort of 3v3 situation.
Yeah, level 5 is why he's called the Party Monkey. Right, mid camp's going to be taken out by eXcellence, but as you mentioned, Batz and Neith are here, going to rotate over and take the left ones here in a second, but looks like Maloaise doesn't want to give it to him just yet.
Yeah, I would definitely expect a fight here. Both teams really looking at each other for this level 5-6 gank. Raijin on the right side of the lane. Not yet into this little cove here on the left side, but I really expect some aggression.
Predator's taking a bit of damage, speaking of aggression, but now it's a mid-harpy dance here. Gonna get a good burp coming out from Turtle. Double tap coming onto the monkey in the backline. Spin to win, doing a little bit of damage, but the harpy still stands, and that's gonna go to Cyclone.
So they were able to sniff that one out. Just an easy play. Didn't even need the mid laner there, which actually might be more of an issue for Neith than not without getting that left-hand harpy. She's gonna stay even with her mid lane opponent, the Raijin, but in general, not a bad play for CycloneGG.
First item coming out from here. Double tap.
Nice.
Good. Almost taking out the monkey. He's going to have to fall back now. Lots of damage coming out from that Thor.
And that's one of the powerful things that you have about Thor. We always talk about the semi-global ultimate, keeping up the tempo of the game. As a jungler, Thor is allowed to do that because of his mobility. But that long-range poke is something that I don't think it ever gets forgotten about. But certainly when you get double tapped like that early, it kind of wakes you up a little bit and makes you recall that Thor does have a lot of long-range poke.
I mean, I feel that's why most of the time he never really falls out of meta too hard. It's always a safe pickup to go with the Thor. It's never a, oh man, that guy picked up Thor, we're going to lose a game, GG.
I mean, he has it all, man. He's got mobility, he's got rotation ability, which are two different ideas, thank you very much. He's got the ultimate, which can surprise players as a gank or set up team fights or even be a defensive utility. It also gives vision, right? I mean, the list goes on and on and on with what Thor can really bring to the table.
Transcendence just finished up for Neith. Going to start building those stacks and for those abilities coming out.
Yeah, I mean, Neith has always generally been sort of a physical mage, so the Transcendence certainly the meta way to build her, and I agree. Just a ton of power so that when you are able to use that ultimate, hopefully on cooldown, you'll be able to get as much bang for your buck, and then, of course, the Spirit Hours, etc. just scale so well.
6 minutes and 22 seconds into the game, still waiting on first blood. eXcellence taking out a little bit of a goal lead, but we're gonna see that change if Cyclone can pick up that first blood. Right now, numbers not too big, just a little bit of a 1K. Sobek ultimate coming out, trying to get a little bit of damage onto Predators, but a nice dash gonna get him out of dodge.
Yeah, Ezzuna just more filling up the mana bar right there. Lurking in the water is gonna provide him a little bit of this, a little bit of that, so Ezzuna clears the way with it. If he's able to poke Guan, excellent, hooray, but the man does have conviction, so poking down the Guan, even with Sickening Strike as an option, not really going to be too much on the schedule of Ezzuna.
Well, good timing coming out from that dash either way. Maloaise waiting for Predators to get back, get a little bit of experience from that speed camp as they start rotating back. This right mid Harpy's going to come up, and the closest we've had to a real fight has been around these mid objectives.
Exactly. I mean, they're small, but they're certainly something to think about. There's the monkey being zoned out of the Harpies by Maloaise, just able to drop the wall and the hammer, which was the last thing we saw Auzrik really get poked out by.
I mean, and if you jump in over the wall trying to get some damage out, then you displace yourself. You don't have that ultimate. If a fight breaks out, like one's breaking out now, good mez coming out. Good jump coming out from Bacchus, though. Kumbhakarna not going to be able to lock him down yet. That jump hadn't been spent.
Cyclone just a little bit slow on the mark. We were talking about synergy before, and I said, you know what, some of these newer teams, they work out better with the synergy because they've been playing so long. But right there, I saw hesitation. And whether that's teamwork, whether that's team-wide or individual based, because don't forget, you're on the big stage now. This is kind of nerve-wracking for some of the newer teams. That could be troublesome. Whatever the case may be, Cyclone looked a little bit disjointed. Next time we see that team fight Tiger, I want to see that one go a little bit more cut and dry. I want to see immediate action.
I mean, CycloneGG made it through the relegations. They did a fantastic job, but now they're up on the big boy stage, and I can understand how nerve-wracking that is,
Sure.
considering where I'm sitting. So, waiting 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Nobody's really bitten yet. eXcellence kind of just sitting, waiting to see just how powerful CycloneGG are going to come out of the gate.
Well, I hope you don't hesitate like that. If you hesitate like that, we're going to have some problems, okay? Hesitating like that costs CycloneGG the first blood. Who knows what it'll cost you?
Exactly, but another dip, dive, and duck coming in from the Sobek, just to build up mana, like you mentioned again.
Oh. We'll see that pretty much every time it comes off a cooldown. I mean, he gets halfway down, he brings it back up. Excellent. Good for him.
Bada bing, bada boom. 34 stacks on those Transcendents already. It's really been a farm game so far at this point. Good pluck, but at this point, we really haven't seen any clear winner coming out of this solo box.
Nah, we really won't. I mean, Guan Yu's going to be able to do his thing, and Sobek's going to tank it up. That's one of my favorite things watching over there, the solo Sobek. The Sobek pluck into nothing, right? I'm going to toss you into the jungle and basic attack you 2 or 3 times. No one's coming. There's no threat. I always think it's hilarious watching Sobek go, yeah, I got you.
All right, so eXcellence, building up 2 Doom Orbs on that Raijin and that Soul. Before we've seen a team fight come out, is that risky or is that better just to try and build yourself up?
Nah, man, I mean, do more with Doom Orb. That's what I always say. Doom Orb going to give you a ton of damage for not a ton of dough, and then you're able to build that up. Like you said, we haven't seen a team fight, so these guys are going to be able to build it up to rank 50. If you die, I mean, that's not very good, obviously, but Doom Orb is still a totally fine pick despite there being other options. It's aggressive, but not too bad.
and Mez getting taunted out by, here comes Inferno Eva, lots of damage. Spirit Arrow is gonna knock Bacchus down, but not take him out. Thor is up in the air waiting to come on down, trying to find a target, while we have Guan Yu jumping in with the cavalry charge. Predators is gonna find the first blood onto the monkey, and then use Mignolner's attunement to get out of the fight.
Big rotation from Predators earns eXcellence the first blood there at the 10-minute mark, Tiger. Without the rotation out of the solo lane, we don't see that fight go the way of eXcellence. Sobek makes the rotation as well a little bit late, shows no presence at all, whereas Guan Yu comes right into the lane on the horse, Clint Eastwood style, and just drops it down, earns the stun, gets the kill. Well done by eXcellence. Important play by Predators.
Yeah, and great communication coming out from eXcellence too. If that hadn't, I mean, he had to have a lot of time to get over there at that point. They were waiting for that fight, just pent up aggression, waiting to go ahead and come out and strike.
And check that play right there. Predators able to take the little bit of room that he was given by the kill in the mid lane, able to go ahead and exert that pressure into the jungle, taking away the speed buff by himself, which is dangerous, but given that it's quote-unquote just a Sobek in the solo lane, nothing to really be too threatened by. So taking away the speed buff from Auzrik. Good play again by Predators.
Yeah, Humbach just walked past that speed buff, not going to be able to pick it up. Gonna head into main lane with the tail tuck between his legs, unfortunately. A little bit of a misplay coming out, but good for eXcellence. Every little bit counts in the jungle. I mean, even if it's not your own.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's part of the game. Not only when you invade, not only do you earn gold for yourself, but you're also taking away from Auzrik. So look at that right there. Thor, about a half a level above his opposition, 300 gold as well. I mean, that's the beginning of a lead. That's something to be worried about if you're the monkey.
I mean, it's a nice foothold for eXcellence in general. 2K experience up as well as almost 1K gold. So it's a respectable beginning to the game. It's going to take a lot more plays like that, though, to really start getting this game into effect.
Yeah, basically this is glass half full, glass half empty. If I'm CycloneGG, I'm just telling my team, hey, this game is even. We are tied. It's 1,000 gold lead. If I'm eXcellence, I'm saying, hey, we're ahead. We've got 1,000 gold. We can make one extra play, two extra plays. All of a sudden, we'll look towards the gold fury and try to make it happen. Cyclone understand that, so they're trying to bait this fight here towards the gold fury. Cyclone understand that they're closer than they are far away from the enemy, so they want to start a fight before this gets out of hand.
And we're seeing them pack up, at least in threes, rotating back and forth just in case, you know, a fight does break out. Nobody's going to get caught empty-handed. Nobody's going to get caught with their pants down.
And especially keep an eye on that Freya. Right now she's got boots, Fatalis, and building into that demo grip, maybe even a Telkon's ring, depending on how saucy she's feeling. And this is going to be one of the major tools for Cyclone coming out of the duo lane. We saw what happened when Guan Yu came out of the right side for eXcellence. Well, watch what happens when Naaaarrrk comes out of the left side for Cyclone. The addition of her gumballs is going to change team fights by itself.
Yeah, and I mean, it really just comes down to waiting for that farm to really take effect for both of these ADCs to really mold into the hyper carries that they were born to be.
I mean, especially, you say hyper carry, especially when it comes down to Freya. That's really her bread and butter, is chasing down players in the late game, killing them in a couple of seconds with those basic attack steroids. So Freya, level 1, level 5, probably not going to see her. Level 7, depending on how the game is going. Level 14 with a demo grip after her 2 core items, certainly a little bit more interesting.
Cyclone don't want to lose these right mid harpies, but Guan Yu is just around the corner, waiting to go ahead and start zoning as they come up. Cyclone waiting for it, but here comes Thor into the air, waiting to come on down. Not going to be able to find anybody, but instead the monkey's going to jump over the speed camp. Taco drums are coming out, but it's going to be a whiff. Epic uppercut, Raijin into the air, but there's no follow-up from the team. In the backline, Predator's trying to find the monkey, but Bloakley's going to take him out before he can do anything.
Incredibly disjointed team fight. Mr. Turtle going to jump away from some of the damage out of Cyclone, who have earned themselves the name on the team fight, but just disjointed for eXcellence is the word that I'm going to bring to the table. Predators comes over and tries to make a rotation, but he gets isolated. You see Maloaise ultimate and kind of get isolated by himself as well. Fly jumps up on the taiko drums and just starts banging out a street beat at absolutely nobody. So just everybody all over the place. Where Cyclone, they collapse on a Guan, they find him out of position, and they go for it and get the kill. That's what evens the game up. eXcellence just look a little bit sloppy in that one.
Yeah, you say disjointed. I'd just stick with the Southern and say it was messy.
Yeah.
But for the most part, good outstanding play from Cyclone. Able to turn that around, get the kill, get the mid harpies, and get themselves on the board. At this point, they're barely ahead in gold. It's really not worth mentioning, but they just basically tied it back up.
Exactly. I mean, that's really what you're looking for in a Cyclone. And like I said before, they were looking into that team fight, expecting to come out in that way.
Gank trying to come out from Maloaise, going to get the wall, but forcing the Sobek ultimate. So even though they weren't able to take him out, he's not going to be able to regain that mana and use that ultimate for a little while.
Yeah, I mean, he's not really too concerned. Sobek now level 15. He's got the breastplate. He's got the Mark of the Vanguard that he started off with. He's not really too concerned about this lane. Nobody's going to die here, whether you're Guan Yu or you're Sobek. You might get pushed out a little bit, but if you do, then it's a big team engagement, and you tell your squad to go ahead and start at the Gold Fury. So,
if anything, it's Thor saying, hey, look, all right, I stopped by. Hey, here I am. I'm still in the game. Yeah. You two kids have fun, and I'm going to go other places.
Exactly. I mean, you got to show a little bit of presence as the junglers, so show up, throw a wall out, a couple of hammers, but in general, nobody's really messing with Ezzuna over there. Instead, Cyclone looked like they want to group up towards the mid. Left side of the map is still on everybody's mind.
Yeah, putting a lot of pressure in the mid lane, taking the non-safe way out, automatically gravitating towards that Gold Fury. It's already fallen really fast, and eXcellence kind of just twiddling their thumbs at this point. But Thor's going to go up in the air, going to go ahead and try and take this, but it's going to get leashed. Instead, we might see a fight as Fear No Evil comes out.
And that's going to send Mr. Turtle to the right. Thor finally comes down on top of Neith. Purification going to be burned by Bloakley. Still looking for action, and there's Guan Yu trying to make up for it. A couple of shots of Tallow Assault, and Maloaise seals the deal on Auzrik.
Sprint has been popped, and still the fight continues. Backflip gonna save Neith for a little while Naaaarrrrk takes Maloaise out in the back line, but Ezzuna gonna be able to take out the monkey and Bloakley, taking out Bacchus in the meanwhile, but Naaaarrrk getting another kill onto Predators, and that's gonna be essentially a full left side wipe. That's a free Gold Fury for Cyclone.
As soon as CycloneGG brings the Freya out of the duo lane, we're gonna see some fireworks. I said that about 5 minutes ago, and look at that. Naaaarrrk, in his first team fight, winds up with 2 kills and 2 assists. That's the power of Freya, baby. She's able to farm up for 15 minutes and then in the middle of everything say, hey, what up, dude? And just take everybody out. Fantastic play by Naaaarrrk out of there. Cyclone understanding their power spike perfectly. They timed that Gold Fury intentionally.
I mean, surprise, jumping out, all the damage getting pumped out by Freya, and in the meanwhile, Cyclone taking the right mid-harpies as well, not letting up. You got stuff after the stuff, F-Dot.
Exactly. I mean, that's the game plan. That's always what you're looking for. That's Smite in a nutshell. So look for the Cyclone start the Gold Fury, expecting eXcellence to come with the intention of letting it go, fighting, and then taking the win. That's exactly what Cyclone do. The alarm goes off. By the alarm, I mean the noise that Thor's going in the sky. Everybody separates, and then you take the fight head on.
They're like scattering like roaches as soon as you turn the light on. That way, you don't give Thor a nice, tasty target of multiple people in one spot. Cyclone only have Batz there, but now going to have that rotation back into the mid lane, so no pressure coming out from eXcellence further onto that tier 1 mid tower.
Just fantastic play out of Cyclone, able to push themselves up 4,000 gold in the lead as we're crossing almost 18 minutes. Now with that lead, they're starting to get a little bit more aggressive here, Tiger, pushing into the enemy jungle, taking these straight just siege invades without any sort of play, and there's the ultimate out of Batz.
Fear No Evil coming out, trying to lock down the Bacchus, is going to be able to find him. DineOhSaw getting credit for that kill, but Taiko Drums are coming out. 1, 2, 4 is going to find, and Fly going to get credit for that kill. Bloakley is going to be down for quite some time. Meanwhile, in the back line, Predator's going to find the stun, but DineOhSaw bringing out the CC.
Fly's got no more options, and there's 4 red jerseys surrounding him, Tiger. Able to find the dash away, actually.
The Thunder Crash was good. Oh, my goodness. Everybody gets out essentially fine aside from Mr. Turtle.
Not many gods can get out of that situation. I actually thought the Thunder Crash was on cooldown, but Fly able to make it safely underneath his tower right there. So Cyclone get a little bit aggressive, and they get punished for it. But I think the speed buff does get stolen away. So a little bit of a plus and minus here for Cyclone. Still 3K in the lead.
Little victories, but CycloneGG, even though they gave up that kill, still sitting 3 kills ahead, trying to get the gank onto the Sobek, but Ezzuna going to be just fine heading back into the tower. Once again, Thor just showing face, making sure that Sobek doesn't get a little too aggressive, a little too cocky, especially since they're 3 kills up.
Exactly. Right there, what eXcellence was able to do. Now, they didn't successfully defend their jungle, but they were able to push Cyclone out of their jungle, keep the tempo up, go right back at Cyclone. They're still in your sights. 3,000 gold isn't the end of the game, so you can certainly keep taking these 2-on-1 fights. Absolutely what eXcellence needs to be doing now.
Exactly, and eXcellence grouping up, making sure they're taking their buffs. CycloneGG are showing lots of aggression, jumping into the enemy jungle, and that's really kind of how the starts of these snowballs we see in games begin.
Exactly. You've got to play the lead. You've absolutely got to play the lead. A lot of times some players can get taken away, can get carried away and get a little bit too aggressive. But at the same time, if you're not playing the lead, then what good use is the lead anyway? You've got about an item and a half or half an item on your opponent. Make use of that extra power. Go into their jungle, dare you to fight them because they're at a lower power level as you. And if you're able to beat them down, well then, you get some extra gold, you get the stuff after the stuff like you mentioned, and all of a sudden your 3K lead turns into a 5K lead, etc. So absolutely have to play the lead.
Yep. But we have Guan over on the right side, putting in the pressure. That tower's basically gone. All he has to do is just sneeze at it, and it's going to fall. And that's going to be a little bit of gold in the coffers for Team eXcellence, and every little bit counts.
I mean, an extra 500 here, an extra 500 there certainly works to even things out. You can see right there, a little bit working towards it, but brings the lead beneath 3,000, which is an important milestone.
Sizable little dip in the CycloneGG mountain of experience and gold that they do have in the graphs. Now, granted, it's a sizable step, but it's nothing that eXcellence can't come back from by far.
Absolutely not. Right now, eXcellence needs to start looking towards their next objective. Gold Fury going to be up in a number of minutes very soon. eXcellence wants to stay over there on the left side. Despite it being 21 minutes into the game, play is very deep still. Gold Fury, a very valuable target. What I would do is I would ward up the Fire Giant and keep some presence here so that you know where the enemy is, but try and take that Gold Fury because right now, you can take a fight against Cyclone. After a tower siege or so, I'm not sure if that's the case.
Now, if you're Cyclone right now, you have a little bit of aggression coming out from those two big team fights that we saw, but how do you maintain this pressure?
I mean, this is what if you're Cyclone, you have to absolutely maintain that pressure. And how do you do that? You keep attacking head on. Cyclone to the team without the Guan Yu right now, Tiger. They have a single curse on their side, and it's on the Sobek. Cyclone are on a time clock here. If the game gets too late, at some point, Guan is just going to out-heal the hell out of this squad. So Cyclone going for this Gold Fury, this is exactly what they need to do. Repeat the last experience.
Good zoning coming out. Blink coming out from Batz with the ultimate Maloaise. Forced to use that Sanctuary, but he's still getting aggressed on. Forced into the ultimate, throwing down the wall as well. Maloaise gonna be A-okay, but for the most part, the Taiko drum's coming out. Not gonna hit a single person.
Auzrik gets out of the way by going to hang out in mid lane. That's going to waste his time for a little bit, but still, eXcellence is some trouble. Mid lane, taking down mid lane. Mr. Turtle in trouble on the left-hand side as well. You can see Farleez try to do what he can as Predators looks for a stun, but quick backflip out of the Neith, going to save the life one more time, and everybody chasing down Guan Yu. That's the prime target, Tiger. He's going to fall as well. 9 kills in total for CycloneGG.
I mean, there goes their aggression. There goes the sustain coming out from that Guan Yu, and at this point, the only one that they really have to worry about is Farleez, and they can keep him zoned or pluck him back and absolutely destroy him if he continues. So at this point, CycloneGG have that Gold Fury down to 0.
Again, like I said, all they had to do was repeat the exact same episode that we saw a little bit before. Start the Gold Fury, bait it into a fight, take the fight, win it, and then go for the gold again. Look at that. We see that the first dip down, that's going to be the first Gold Fury. And then the second dip, that's the second one. Classic Smite coming out. Cyclone extend their lead to 5,700. And like I said, they got to keep doing that because the later this goes, the more eXcellence is looking towards that Guan Yu to carry them out of a hole.
And that clock is definitely ticking. 23 minutes and 7 seconds, 3-9 with Cyclone 6 kills up. We already saw those graphs, and they have a couple of steps in favor of the boys in the red trunks.
Exactly. I mean, Cyclone doing exactly what they need to do, just keeping the pedal to the metal and trying to keep the tempo of this game up, despite being on the other side of the Thor Guan Yu. Cyclone have to be playing this game very, very quickly and try to find a win relatively soon.
And you know that kill really had to hurt Fly because those Doom Orb stacks went ahead and went down. You're going to have to build those back up again. Luckily for Soul, she didn't die, so she's going to keep that 50 stack, waiting for the next team fight.
Yeah, not too bad for the Raijin, as we're still kind of in this, players still have towers up, so we're able to return to lane and do that, which is what I need to see Cyclone start adjusting to now. As a game, nice, you got your second Gold Fury. Now, this time you got to start looking towards the right side of the map. Look for towers, look for a Fire Giant possibly, but take the fight and take the larger objective this time around. Don't settle for a Gold Fury.
And it's not necessarily good for eXcellence. The only real tower shredder they have currently is Soul. Yeah, she's level 20, but that's one person that's really going to be forced to do the most work when it comes to these objectives. If she's gone, it's going to be much slower.
I mean, the same thing could be said about Cyclone. You've got Freya, who's terrible when it comes to that sort of thing. And Neith is, I mean, she's a hunter, but she's probably one of the worst hunters when it comes to attacking that stuff.
You got at least 2, though, but Disapparate forced out of Farleez is going to be safe in the back line while Cyclone continues to put the aggression onto this Tier 1 solo tower, or duo tower. It is going to fall very quickly, but in retaliation, eXcellence looking to go ahead and try and take down that Tier 1 tower from the mid lanes. That's going to be a trade-off.
Smart play coming out from the guys on eXcellence, realizing, or maybe unfairly realizing, they can't take the fight. There comes Guan on the left side, trying to start the fight a little bit late, but it looks like it's all Cyclones.
Supernova not going to lock anybody down. Fear No Evil not going to lock anybody down, and instead, it's not going to get stopped. They're going to take another tower. In retaliation, eXcellence are going to do the same, so it's still an even trade-off coming out from these 2 teams.
So the play of the Cyclone comes there just out of raw power, saying, hey, look, we're 6K up. We can totally take this fight. Ready, set, go. Nobody's here. Where are they at? And then eXcellence is like, look, we can't fight you, so we're just going to take your house while you're out. 2 towers, straight out for 2 towers. This is the fight that Cyclone
Purification forced out of Freya, and now Mr. Turtle's going to fall to the Freya herself. Ezzuna taking out Predators, and now they're on the run, but the blink coming out from the Hun bots, teleporting to the Monkey as well, looking for Maloaise in the backline. There's no tower to fall back to, and now the chase continues to go on. Farleez, now the tasty target. Sanctuary has been popped, and Ezzuna going to get credit for that kill.
That took a long time, but Cyclone were just doing it on their way to the bookstore. They want to take out the Firebird, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Nobody really around to play defense because they killed them on their way. So 3 players toasted. Time to take out the Phoenix. There's some aggression out from eXcellence, but 2 against 4 doesn't look like a good play.
Maloaise trying to get out is going to find it while Fly finds the Monkey, Auzrik, in the back line, but still CycloneGG doing their best to take down this bird. The chase doesn't necessarily a bad thing for them because it led them right to the Phoenix, while Bloakley dishing out more damage. Maloaise gonna fall, and Ezzuna gonna get that last hit. Thunder Crash coming in, but it's a little too late.
And that took a while to take down that Phoenix, and that's what I was talking about with the Freya and the Neith. Yes, Neith is a hunter, but at the end of the day, she doesn't have a natural steroid. She doesn't have any attack speed boons outside of the items she's built, just Chinsai and the Aussie. So a little bit troublesome for her, and then Freya, of course, doesn't really excel at that. No Polynomicon, so no extra procs against that Phoenix. So it's just going to be old-fashioned raw power damage. Takes a while to take down the Phoenix, so much so that 2 players were almost able to defend, but almost is not what wins you games. Cyclone finally able to take it down.
Wacky, wavy, inflatable arm tube man has been placed at the Gold Fury. It is about to come up here in just a tick. That's going to be the next point of contention. CycloneGG sitting nice, fed, and happy with 13 kills to eXcellence's 4. And now the graphs, while they didn't necessarily say much in the beginning of the game, now definitely tipped in the favor of the Red Trunks.
Yeah, I mean, Cyclone just slanted that graph all the way down. You can see just how much power they've been able to bring to the table. It was nice and even game till about 15 minutes. That's when Freya showed up, and then right on down to 7,700.
I mean, it really hedge-pinned on Freya jumping into that fight. And speaking of fight, CycloneGG looking for a fight in the Fire Giant. Good 2-man Mez coming out from the Kumbhakarna, and it's already gone. It did burn an ultimate coming out from Hun bots, but now they're going to try and burn down Guan, forcing out the cavalry charge. Not going to be able to keep up with them, but at that point, it doesn't necessarily matter.
I mean, I don't even know if I call that zoning, Tiger. That was just a good job of eXcellence not showing up. Thor's not going to show up either.
Getting obliterated by the Freya. Naaaarrrk getting credit for that kill, and now everybody's going to get credit for taking down this tower. CycloneGG continuing with that massive amount of momentum.
Momentum quite literally as they're just barreling down this right-hand side. Farleez going to deal with the Sobek, and in fact the call is to go to the mid lane, giving Farleez some place to be connected onto. Sanctuary popped out by the Sobek.
Taking lots of damage. Pluck going to be good, plucking him back, but Supernova chasing, or at least covering the chase. But Ezzuna still going to be able to take him out. That was kind of a lose-lose situation for the Soul.
Yeah, I mean Ezzuna's just Merry Christmas, buddy. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas indeed. We got you a gift. It's going to be taking out your Phoenix here. Sprint has been popped, charging forward in. Not going to be able to find the pluck is Ezzuna, but the tail whip going to be good while the rest of his team really starts to barrel down on this Phoenix. Good zoning coming out from Ezzuna, keeping Mr. Turtle off the team. Good wall coming in, but Bacchus jumps in. Intoxicate going to be able to take out Auzrik, and now in the back line, Guan trying to take out the Neith. The Sanctuary had been popped, and even now in the front line, it's going to be really bad for the Kumbhakarna. It's going to be taken out. Fly taking out Freya. Kumbhakarna is still alive?
Everybody, there's still 3 players alive on each team, but just hanging on by the skin of their teeth. You can see there's the jump on top, and Fly seals the deal onto Bloakley. Ezzuna shows up just a little bit too late. And now he's the one player surrounded by the two. Sanctuary's double popped to stop the double damage out of the Sobek. But hey, Sobek was the one that killed Soul a little bit before, so Fly starts feeling the pressure, opts to use the purification, and gets out of jail. But eXcellence did not defend their middle Phoenix. Down it goes.
Yeah, it's going to go fall down too. We saw just how much that Ezzuna was able to chunk down the Soul, so very good purification coming out. Probably would have fallen there, and they need as much defense capabilities as they can coming out from eXcellence, because CycloneGG still have a lot of momentum coming out, even though, you know, they weren't able to take all 3 Phoenixes. That's still 2 birds down.
30 minutes into the game, your boy Sobek is top damage over a Freya and a Raijin. 6-0 and 9 here for Ezzuna. I mean, this guy, first of all, he was able to just stalemate the lane, which is exactly what he was supposed to do, but he made the first real relevant rotation in this game. When Cyclone started the fight against eXcellence by the Gold Fury #1 at about 15 minutes, Ezzuna was the one that made the rotation, able to find a precious pluck onto a secure target and then start that team fight going into the right direction. So that really started Cyclone off in general, and since then Ezzuna's been a wrecking ball, just tearing people apart, whether he's supposed to or not. Too much damage out of the Sobek, frankly.
We're quickly approaching that part in the game, though, where the experience lead doesn't necessarily matter. Everybody's going to be hitting level 20 soon. It's all going to come down to that gold, and looking at these items, eXcellence only has a couple of missing spots, so it's going to be a pretty even game coming down to strategy and the gameplay.
Sure, I mean, Freya's already full build, so is the Sobek, already feeling it. You got Batz almost there. Neith has finished all of the items, and even Kumbhakarna almost ready to call it quits as far as the gold is concerned. And Cyclone know that this is one of their last real power plays, so they're looking for it. There's the counter initiation. Thor going to come down as well. Cyclone trying to run away from the defense out of eXcellence.
Auzrik taking a lot of damage. Taiko Drum's going to hit their mark, at least one of them, but the Fear No Evil has been popped out, and now the monkey's going to get out, but Farleez in the back line dishing out a lot of damage. DineOhSaw getting credit for Mr. Turtle after the epic uppercut, and now Maloaise is on the run. DineOhSaw going to be able to find him with the groggy strike, and now the disapparate has been forced. CycloneGG putting the pressure on that Firebird.
Left Phoenix fallen, mid Phoenix still down, right stands, but Cyclone now trying to filter out and change that fact. They just took down the left Phoenix. Great play, but Cyclone not done just yet. 2 players on eXcellence sitting down for the fight.
7-18. This is probably eXcellence's last opportunity to defend this bird. It's doing a lot of damage to the Sobek, but tanky as he is, going to be just fine. That bird's going to fall, and it doesn't look like Cyclone are going to back off just yet. Looking for maybe one more pick before they wait for Batz to come in.
Auzrik is here, about half a minute on his ultimate, so not able to go in just yet. I think Cyclone are going to wait for that. Whether or not they wait for the Fire Giant is a different story, but Cyclone do realize that the support and some of the other players are a little bit low, mainly looking at frontline. Ezzuna and DineOhSaw certainly don't have the HP to all-out siege onto the Titan, and with Thor about to respawn and Turtle just taking his own, I think we're going to see the full back from Cyclone, and they'll get ready for a new one.
Well, eXcellence are going to have their hands tied when it comes to these fire minions coming down the lane. They're not going to get taken out by the normal minions. You're going to have those gods take it out. We saw a game previously where the Titan was essentially taken out by the fire minions, so you can't ignore those. That's going to be a win if you don't do anything about them.
We call that winions.
Winions.
Winions. We call that winions when minions are able to take down the Titan. We'll hope that that won't be the case for eXcellence, as Cyclone now making their way towards the big guy. Fire Giant yet to be started, but Bacchus is here and he knows all about it.
Bacchus was sniffing around a little earlier before CycloneGG had rotated back over to the Fire Giant's pit. Now they're going to go ahead and get that started up. Good zoning coming out, but Mr. Turtle is here on the back line waiting for the opportunity to jump in. Predator's here as well. The cavalry charge could be a very useful tool. They're going to go ahead and leash it. They'll look for it. Turtle going to get mezzed out. Groggy Strike going to miss, but now Turtle intoxicating everybody. Fear No Evil coming out as well and going to get obliterated by Auzrik, and now the chase is on. But a good wall coming out from Thor.
Huge play for Cyclone. Absolutely have to take out that target. Not only is he a Bacchus that's adept at taking out objectives, period, but he's got the Wrath on board as well. Certainly a threat for the team CycloneGG. So taking out the pure target onto the Bacchus, and now starting up the Fire Giant again. 40%.
Fire Giant's still going. Predator's looking for it. Auzrik looking very low. It's been leashed once again, and now they're going to try to find the monkey. Thunder Crash coming in. Fly going to take that trophy. Thor coming in as well with the ultimate. Narc taking out Maloaise, though. That's what what you get. Waiting for the ultimate coming out from Neith as well. Gonna lock down Predators. Here comes the Mez. Here comes the epic uppercut. Gonna miss though, but Fly taking out Naaaarrrrk in the backline with the taiko drums.
Last time we looked at the player damage, Sobek was #1 with 18. Freya in that team fight has provided almost 5,000 damage for herself and her squad. Naaaarrrk, huge part of what Cyclone's able to do. Now he's sitting, the fight going in the other direction. eXcellence kind of leading the charge right now with 3 players down for CycloneGG. eXcellence have adjusted. They realize that Naaaarrrk is the guy. Keep your eyes on the Freya. And if you take Freya down first, you might be able to win the fight.
Ezzuna was 1v3, now gonna probably find Predators here. Looking very low is the Guan Yu, looking for a little bit of a heal. The damage still coming out. Ezzuna sticking to him, not letting him get away. The death is eventual. It's just gonna see how long it takes, whether it's Sustain gonna get Guan Yu back to safety. There's no towers to fall back to, and at this point, nobody on his team's nearby. It's one more hit, and Ezzuna gonna find the chase. The perseverance pays off.
Solo lane v solo lane. Just slowly chipping each other down from minute 1 to, well, minute 35.
Well, I mean, taking out Predators is really important. That ultimate really could disrupt that Fire Giant if they go on ahead and try and take that again. CycloneGG waiting for the opportune moment. They're all on the right side, whereas eXcellence are kind of forced to mess with those fire minions. The mid Phoenix is back up, though, and at about half health.
Yeah, that was a really problematic situation for CycloneGG to find themselves in. With Naaaarrrk falling down, the team fight goes in the other direction. You got to protect this Freya. They've been doing a good job of it so far, but now that eXcellence have adapted and adjusted to targeting the Freya, Cyclone have to respond to that as well.
Ezzuna did a great job of zoning out the Bacchus. Bacchus did have Wrath, and that would have spelled disaster as well, but Thor waiting to bring some disaster of his own, crashing down at the opportune moment. There's 4 here, gonna find 3. The Intoxicate gonna find them as well, and now he's gonna be just fine with the sprint, but Mr. Turtle gonna fall to 5 members of Cyclone.
Mr. Turtle falls down to Mr. Crocodile. And CycloneGG now got 12 kills above eXcellence. Farleez just turns and runs, realizing he cannot handle this 5-man CycloneGG gang squad. You see the jump in coming the other way. And Guan Yu, I mean, he's trying to start a Tiger, but he's all alone.
Nope, gonna have to run back in the opposite direction to a complete 180 while Fly takes out Bloakley with the taiko drums. He's so low. Is the Batz and Maloaise gonna be able to find him in the back line?
And there's the follow-up coming out from the guys on Cyclone, still hunting down Maloaise. Double knock-up coming out from Ezzuna and served up right into Naaaarrrk's ultimate. Fly's in trouble as well, and the ultimate's still coming down. DineOhSaw puts down Fly.
DineOhSaw getting credit for that kill, and now Predators getting pinched between 3 members. Naaaarrrk showing up once again. It's that Freya play coming out.
Naaaarrrk has looked strong here, there, and everywhere. Whether it's this season or last, I mean, Naaaarrrk has just been out of control on the Freya, on the Hunters. I love what he's doing, and I love how the team is using him as well. As soon as it's time for the Freya to come in, it's time for the Freya to fight, and that's been a big part.
I mean, huge part. That's exactly what turned the game in their favor in that first big team fight coming out at the Gold Fury. And now, speaking of team fight, Soul has been forced to use that Sanctuary, trying to get away with it, Disapparate as well, but Naaaarrrk hot on her heels. That mid-Phoenix has fallen, and there's nothing left between them and that Titan except for Turtle.
Yeah, Mr. Turtle's here, and he's going to be focused just a little bit, but Titan quickly taking the damage that's coming to a Tiger with that one. Cyclone looked like they're on top.
Cyclone doing a very strong showing. The rookies in the SCL really jumping in and showing up. 37-minute to 37-second game, 26 kills.
Smooth, clean, I really enjoyed it. They had a game plan. They said, hey, we'll pick a Freya about 15, 16, 17 into the game. We'll start her bringing her to team fights, win a couple of mid-game gold series, and then we win the game, and it's exactly what happened.
I mean, those fights were on point. I threw my pin somewhere. I have no idea where it's at. When the camera goes off, I'll have to go find it again. But that's going to be at least 1 point coming out for Cyclone. It's going to be